Hello to all the Kevins out there, specifically you, Kevin. I know what you did. It is now officially Scary Month, so I'm going to be reviewing one of the most famous classics when it comes to Halloween movies, and that is, of course, Halloweentown. Now, I'd just like to mention Halloweentown is a fat second to Hocus Pocus, because Hocus Pocus is just indefinitely better. And for some strange reason, Rotten Tomatoes is just completely disagrees with that, so they're wrong. And I'm never gonna trust them again. And I'm just gonna be talking about the first Halloweentown because I didn't see the second or third one when I was a kid. And just to jump right into it, right off the bat, this movie's not good. And not in the way that you think, because just as a plain movie, it's fun, you know, it's a nice family fantasy movie for everybody. The main reason I don't like this movie is not because of the insanely rushed ending, it's because of the main character. She is honestly one of the most annoying characters I've seen. And when I say most annoying, I mean most annoying when it comes to characters that weren't supposed to be annoying. Because obviously there are characters who are supposed to be annoying, but she's just annoying by accident. Now, when you're a child, you just don't really think about her being bratty or whiny because you're just all focused on the cool, whimsical, Halloween-y stuff, the cool, spooky stuff, the magic, you know, the fantasy, all that cool stuff as a kid. And her name is Marnie. What kind of name is Marnie? It's just Barney with an M.
Did I hear someone speak poorly of my lady?
You mean a fictional character in a movie? Who is 13?
You obviously don't understand how to treat a lady. Let me teach you.
Are you crying?
No, it's a water type jutsu for my eyes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This isn't over. Leave room jutsu.
I just don't understand how these people get into my house. So the movie starts out, Halloween night. All the kids running around, trick-or-treating, getting all their candies, except one lone house on the street. Zero decorations, zero fun. And this house is obviously the house of Marnie, who is already whining and complaining that, I'm 13 years old, Mom. I deserve to make my own decisions and go out on my own. Because for some reason in DCOMs, they always make 13-year-olds act like they're 18.
Look, Mom, I'm 13, okay? I'm practically a grown-up. I'm certainly old enough to make my own choices.
So then we find out that Marnie's mom is 100% no on Halloweeny. And it's all because of spooky reasons.
Well, I think it's obvious why Halloween is bad. Then all that candy causes cavities and gum disease and those masks everybody wears. It's weird kind of toxic.
You guys think that kid's a nerd? I guess everyone's just gonna ignore the floating bus just flying down from the heavens. Then we discover Sophie. Yes, Sophie, the younger sister, has magical powers and is levitating a cookie. And no, Marnie doesn't have powers. Not the main character, but her little sister. So then Grandma, after flying down from the heaven, comes into the house with a bunch of candy. She got a big old bag pulling out Halloween decorations and stuff. Where did she come from? Some sort of Halloweentown? I'll see myself out. So Grandma gives everybody a bunch of presents, like pumpkins and a singular hieroglyph, I guess.
Hieroglyphics! Mother?
It's just writing on a rock. Why is it such an impressive gift?
You know, these look like the ones from the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Look, I know I'm getting hung up on this small detail, but they do realize it's just a rock with a hieroglyph on it, right? Nothing more?
Very good. I'll bet you get A's in school.
Actually, she gets B's and C's. I get the A's.
Oh.
Geez, I don't know. I'm really starting to think this kid's a nerd. Grandma asked Mom if their whole family can move in with Grandma. But then Mom says, no, I want them to have a normal life.
I like being here. I can have a normal life here. They can have a normal life here. Go and tell them a story. Talk to them and get to know them. But on your honor, don't tell them about home. Your home.
So yeah, the grandma then tells the kids everything about where she lives and about Halloweentown.
I have to confess that I didn't make it up. I read about it in a book.
A book? What book?
There.
Let me see.
So this part confuses me. The kid didn't believe anything about witches or warlocks or werewolves or Halloweentown until his grandma showed him a book of it. They went so far with the nerd stereotype, they actually forgot to make him smart.
Look, it's Barney.
It is me.
Yes, Marnie, that's you. A book that you have never seen before in your life, in a fictional place you've never heard of, with a drawing that doesn't even remotely look like you. Yes, that's you, Marnie. That's you. So then Mom walks in on Grandma spilling all the beans, and she ain't happy about that one. But while they were arguing, Marnie was sneaking around, and then she saw Graham turn dead chicken wings into a living chicken.
Did I just witness that woman revive that chicken from the dead?
It's Peter Jones. Yes, she's a witch. This is a movie.
Do you know what this means? Every animal that has been turned into disgusting meat can be revived back into life. So all these disgusting people that eat meat, they'll know what they're eating.
Peter, I honestly don't know how many times I have to tell you this. It's a movie. It's not real, okay?
No, this just proves that it's possible. Oh no! What'd you do that for? Oh God! Why?
So then Marnie overhears that she is actually a witch, and also that Halloweentown is in trouble and Graham needs the help of the Cromwells. But Mom ain't having it. She told her to find someone else for the job.
Serious about this. It's as though something or someone is trying to return us to the dark time. And I fear my powers alone may not be enough to stop it. I need another Cromwell, which...
Mother, there are plenty of other witches and warlocks in Halloweentown. Why didn't you recruit one of them?
So Marnie just yeets out the front door with her mom being completely oblivious. Oh, and I guess Dylan did the same thing. So somehow Dylan and Marnie both sneak onto the Halloweentown bus completely unnoticed and then fly to Halloweentown. Oh, great! Sophie snuck out as well. This mom's really starting to rack up points for the worst mom of the decade. So then all the kids run into a creepy man who gives Sophie a lollipop that he pulled out of his ear. Please don't eat that. No, Sophie, please don't.
No thanks.
No, thank God.
Wait a minute. Does that mean... Are you Gwen's kids? Is she here with you?
So yeah, he wants to bang their mom. So the creepy mayor gets Benny the skeleton, and then Benny drives them to Grandma's house.
But that don't mean you kids can go running around here by yourselves.
Why not?
Because you're 13, Marnie. You're 13. But Benny then tells all of them that there are some shady characters, like this 13-year-old boy that they just drove by. Wow, I wonder if there's going to be some weird, awkward romance that's going to happen later on in the film with that 13-year-old boy. So Marnie attempts to use her powers for the first time, and of course it doesn't work. But then Sophie sneakily flexes her magical skills and opens the gate, and doesn't even take credit for it.
Sophie, how did you do that? I pushed.
Sophie's the best character. Instant witch's brew, goddammit. Okay, that's funny. I'm gonna give it a gold star. Good joke.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble.
Boil, boil, toil and trouble, microwave. You know what? Screw it. 2 gold stars. God, that's a good one.
I'll have to take you home myself.
Oh, but you can't take us home. You said you needed another Cromwell witch. That could be me.
No, Marnie. It should be Sophie, because she actually has powers. All right? Oh, look, a cauldron. Oh my God! How did he get stuck in there? So after they see the old man stuck in the cauldron, Grandma shows them Merlin's talisman. And apparently Merlin's talisman can stop all of the evil that is happening in Halloweentown. But since she used instant witch's brew in a boil, boil, toil and trouble microwave, it didn't work. So they're gonna need the homemade recipe.
Bitte mach. Bitte gefiel, bitte gegeben. Rat. That's what I get for trying to use instant.
Honestly, like just the whole instant thing, yeah, I'm just gonna give it another star. 1 more star and they get a free keychain. Like, they're doing a good job with that.
Oh, clothes.
I'm sorry, that was just funny.
Harriet.
Wait a second, you're telling me that's the same lady that she ran into when she first got into Halloweentown? And no one's talking about it? No one in the town's gonna be like, oh, hey, look at her messed up face. Maybe she needs a bath. I don't know. So Grandma runs into the creepy mayor and then tells him that there is some problems happening in Halloweentown. So the mayor agrees to look into it as long as Grandma doesn't look into it.
But I do know one thing. I want you to leave this alone.
Definitely not a suspicious thing to say if you ask me. So while all of that is going on, Marnie is doing Marnie things and randomly asks her grandma to buy the most expensive witch's broomstick in the store. Then Luke comes out of nowhere and calls himself the Big Cheese.
Hey, don't sell me too short there, Grammy. I'm something of a big cheese around here.
And then Marnie lands the sickest burn I've ever heard.
I was kind of hungry, but then I smelled something stinky. It must have been the Big Cheese.
Oh, yeah! Get stinkied! Get stinkied! You know what? You know what? They get the keychain. Halloweentown gets a keychain. 4 stars. All right. Good shit. Uh-oh. Mommy's here. Someone's about to get a spanking. God damn it. It's so hard to say that without it sounding sexual.
I want you all just to get back on that bus because we are going home.
Mom, Grandma needs help. And since you won't help her, she needs the only other Cromwell witch there is. Me.
Damn, Marnie really be out here flexing her witch powers that she doesn't have. She has yet to show her witch powers. What you flexing, Marnie? So after a little vocal tussle with Mommy, she tells everybody it's time to go home and puts her foot down. You know what?
You know what?
I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. Marnie is a little
You dare speak poorly of her. You will suffer the consequences.
Why do I have to deal with this? Who even are you?
I didn't realize he was this powerful.
I threw a plushie at you. What do you mean?
This fight is not over, you hear me? Leave room, Jutsu!
So since they have to wait, Gwen ends up going to the mayor to see if she could get a little bit of a favor and get the bus moving along a little bit quicker. But the mayor desperately wants to bang.
You know, I always hoped you'd come back. Now here you are. Say, I ought to show you around. We could take the Styx River cruise, have a little dinner.
Well, obviously, he's Mom's old boyfriend. Marnie.
I guess you like magic when he does it, huh?
That's enough.
Oh, and if you marry him, I am not calling him Dad.
Jeez, Marnie, he just gave her a rose. Why don't you take a couple 1,000 steps back? I'm not calling him Dad, all right? I don't care what you do with him. So then Luke goes up to Gram and then tells her that he knows who the bad guy is. And the bad guy, he wants to meet Gram. So then she agrees to go with Luke to see who the bad guy really is. And this is another thing that I really disliked about this movie. This movie is 1 hour and 20 minutes long, not including credits. And we're already 1 hour into this movie and haven't even seen a single thing about a bad guy or some sort of big conflict. The majority of the movie has just been Marnie whining and complaining that she wants to be a witch. And don't get me wrong, it's completely understandable for her to complain because, you know, she wants to do something and her mom's telling her no. And obviously she's going to complain about that. But instead of making her actually be passionate about being a witch, they gave her like a snarky attitude and made her super whiny and annoying the whole time. Instead of just making her a girl who just is passionate about being a witch. So anyway, Marnie ends up seeing Grandma walking with Luke, so they get a little bit sus and then go to check it out. Then we find all of the people who went missing in Halloweentown or in the movie theater. I guess nobody bothered to check the movie theater. So then the Phantom of the Opera shows up and then laughs a lot. And then he explains that he froze all of these people so then he could wake them up and use them as his army to take over the real world. So he very politely asked for Merlin's talisman. Give it to me! And obviously Gram says no. Bruh. So he wags his little no-no finger and then tries to freeze Grandma. No. And for some reason, Luke is surprised by this. I mean, what did you expect? He froze everybody else. So the Cromwell family shows up and then Mom sacrifices herself to save Gram. But it was utterly pointless because Gram just doesn't dodge. She was dodging the other attacks, but then all of a sudden she's like, you know what, screw it, I'll take this shot, whatever. You know what could have completely saved Gram? Shit, could have completely saved the Cromwells. A little bit of energy from G Fuel. Make sure to use code PIG at checkout for 30% off. This deal only lasts a week. Get your gamer fuel so you don't end up being frozen and then become a slave to some weird Phantom of the Opera looking ass dude. Moving on. Which then leaves Marnie to save the day. Dear God, they're screwed.
Go! It's just an evil spell that freezes us.
Don't even worry about it, Marnie. It's just an evil spell that freezes your mom and grandma and makes them an evil slave that the bad guy can use them for in the future. Just don't worry about it. So all the kids have to do is get a recipe together to make a homemade witch's brew in order to get the talisman to work. So they go get a piece of werewolf hair, and instead of asking politely for the werewolf to give them a piece of hair, because I'm sure a bunch of witches need that for potions, they just rudely just cut off a bunch of his hair in the back. Then they have to get the sweat of the ghost, and this scene is just a whole bunch of strange. The three kids just walk into the steam room, and the ghost is just like, yep, all right. Yeah, it's just me alone and three children walking in here. Yep, this is cool. I'm not gonna ask any questions. And then Sophie decides that she wants to be racist against ghosts.
Hey, kid, I don't appreciate stereotypes like that, all right?
I'll be honest, I've never seen ghost racism before.
Make fun of the transparent guy. Just because you can see through us doesn't mean we don't have feelings.
So wait a second, you're telling me every time someone dresses up as a ghost, they're being ghost racist? This might be wrong of me to do, but I'm gonna gold star for ghost racism. This doesn't feel right. And the last ingredient is the fang of a vampire, and how they do that is they just take it, they just go to the dentist and just take it. So that happens. So then Benny turns evil and tries to hurt Dylan. And once again, Sophie, without credit, with nothing, she's just like, you know what, I'm gonna save the day.
Fetch the bone.
Here's 3 reasons why Sophie should have been the main character. Number 1, she actually has powers. Number 2, she has saved them multiple times and has taken 0 credit for it. And number 3, she isn't annoying. I'm team Sophie, all right? To be fair, indirectly, I feel like this movie is about her anyway. So they make the brew and then Marnie doesn't remember the spell. So Sophie, yes, Sophie remembers the spell. Just add another point to Sophie. Sophie is just dominating right now. Then Marnie brings up how Grandma mentioned that if more witches hold the talisman and chant the spell together, it makes it more powerful. But I'm going to be honest here. Sophie could have done it by herself. Marnie's just trying to steal the credit, you know? So anyway, they go back to where Grandma and Mom are frozen and the talisman just isn't working. But then they realize that the talisman is a light that is supposed to light the big pumpkin in the middle of the town. So they go over to the pumpkin, but right when Marnie was about to put it in, Luke stops her. Then Luke tells her that it's all just a big trap. And then the Phantom of the Opera shows up again. Then we discover that the bad guy was the mayor all along? What? Just goes to show, never trust a man who pulls lollipops out of his ear. So Luke hatches a plan that he will be the bait wearing Marnie's cloak and trick the mayor, and it works.
Oh, dear.
So Marnie is really close to putting it into the pumpkin, but then gets lasered by Mayor's creepy fingies. But just like an epic bottle flip, she lands it right on the spot. Boom, bam. She got it. So now, with all of the Cromwell family back together, it's the Cromwells versus the mayor. Who's gonna win?
Man, that jerk. I'd like to.
So then Dylan gets his powers. Yes, Dylan gets a little bit angy-wangy, and then he gets his powers. So they all hold hands together, and then they defeat Calabar. And throughout the entire movie, there has not been a single instance where Marnie has shown that she has any powers whatsoever. I just will never understand why they didn't show Marnie's powers. Maybe it's explained in Halloweentown 2 and Halloweentown High or the sequels. But I mean, at least she apologized to her mom at the end that she was being a little...
And I'm sorry about the things I said and did.
So after everything is done, we discover that Luke was actually a monster all along, and honestly, I already like Luke better than Marnie, because his reasonings for following Calabar blindly was because he made him handsome, and it made him feel good. So then Luke asked Marnie out.
Hey, if you ever come back to Halloweentown, look me up.
I'll do that.
They gotta add romance in there somewhere, right? So then at the end, Mom asked Grandma to come live with them, which again confuses me because at the beginning, the grandma was pestering them to come live with her. And wouldn't it make more sense to move to Halloweentown because mom's like accepting the Halloweeniness, but now she still wants to move to the normal world, but grandma doesn't want to stay in Halloweentown. It's kind of confusing how that whole thing works.
Dear, you know that I can't cross over, only on Halloween nights.
Well, then I guess you're just gonna have to come live with us.
Now, after everything's said and done, I still consider this to be a classic. Because when you're a child watching this movie, you're not focused on Marnie being a whiny baby or that she doesn't have any powers. You're focused on the cool, whimsical, magical, witchy stuff. And for a kid's movie, you know, it's good. I mean, nowhere near as good as Hocus Pocus, mind you, but still a decent family Halloween-y movie. Once again, my main gripe is mostly just how unlikable they made Marnie out to be. And again, it could be explained in the sequels why she didn't use any of her powers or why it didn't seem like she had any. So if we look at the good movie points board, I give this one a 5 out of 10. The ending was very rushed. They spent too much time setting everything up, and the climax was kind of like, you know, it happened. But let me know in the comments below of future movies you would like me to review, or if you want me to review the sequels of this movie maybe. But if you guys are new here, please make sure to subscribe and share the video and such. And also, please make sure to follow me on Instagram because I'm not really going to be using Twitter much. I'm mostly just using Instagram now. And also, another thing. Before you go, please make sure to go to gfuel.com and use code PIG at checkout to get 30% off. Remember, this deal only lasts a week, and then it goes down to 10%. So get your G Fuel while it's 30% off. Please. I'm begging you. I love you guys so much. Kiss, kiss. Bye-bye.
Ha! Yes. Bye for you. Oh God.
Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I'm fine.
Do you need me to call a doctor? Okay. Bye.